Welcome everyone to Yamagishi, Japan, a semi-fictional hillside town inspired from the original city Yamagishi, Morioka, Japan. So let's see how I created this city. Yamagishi word is made up of two kanji characters, Shan and An, which means hills and the shore respectively. Because what we are building is a hillside town, let's sculpt out some hills over here which will be as true to the hills in the original place in real life. So we are going to start with left hill named Jimmy, and the method to sculpt out hills or mountains is that you go level by level. So you sculpt the hill or mountain equally all throughout. If you are expanding, do it equally and make sure you are at the same level. With this you get uniformity and more freedom and ability to slowly close the gaps so you reach till the pointy slopes. But for this one, we are making sure we have at least 4 dark black contour lines of height. And you can see that I approach this even wider hill the exact same way. Try to sculpt equally all throughout. This is only possible if you have a sort of large brush size and very low brush strength. The process is slow, but the end result is satisfying. Using the same exact technique, I made my first map Alpenfield, Switzerland, which is out now, and at the time I didn't knew we could extend the 529 tiles boundary to the whole world map for sculpting, so we have a sudden stop at the end, but for my future maps I will make sure that doesn't happen. At the end, you can see these are not that tall, but I will make them a little tall as we move further into the build. Yamagishi has some incredible road infrastructure. There is one main road that goes from left to right, and almost perpendicular to it goes Yamada line towards Yamagishi station. So we will start with the main road, which will be our usual 2-lane road, and starting from left side of the screen and taking it almost the same way like in real life. I'm saying almost because we are not doing a complete one-to-one copy pasta, but rather an inspirational from Yamagishi, as without proper assets a complete one-to-one copy pasta is not possible. Now we will extend a road from here that goes to the top. In real life, this is sort of the main road that goes up the slope, and because we are going blind in the light to make this road without the main layout, we will end up changing its course a little bit. And with this comes our first round of surgery for the hill to increase its height. After doing that, now we will set up Yamagishi station, so that we can set up Yamada line and then move on to the painful 4 hours of layout building. So for our railway station, this medium station is the closest that we have to the actual Yamagishi station. So seeing the references, we will place it around here and then move on to building the train line that goes inside this hill, which will extend forever till we come out over here, and then we can make a happy triangle connection over here. And we will take a break from making layout and sculpt out hill number 3. Okay, we are done. Now starting with the first quadrant, we will pull out alleyway road, as this is the narrowest road you can build without the roads breaking themselves apart. So we will start with over here, and we are again not going with exact one-to-one layout, but we will pull out some areas that do look almost like in real life. In Japan, because there is very little space compared to the amount of people there are, houses and roads themselves are very small and compact. So you will find a turn every 100 meters. And most of the houses that you will find are equivalent to 2 by 2 houses in city skylines too. So we are going to build our layout keeping that in mind. And soon enough we will have to dig out some land from Jimmy's garden so that we can extend out our road a little bit into the hill. We are obviously going to make sure we keep the slopes respectable such that we not only profit from a sloped look but also leave us opportunity to place decals properly, as they hate slopes as much as you hate zoning in this game. And you can see we are making grids wherever it's possible, and these grids for now support 2 by 2 housing, but a couple of them can have some 3 by 3 housing as well. And now we reach to the point where we can expand the road up the hill into this flat surface. This area will become grounds for Yamagishi Elementary and High School. After making the flat surface, I will quickly increase the height of the hills a bit more till we start seeing the rocky surfaces. And the advantage of doing this slowly is you can be very thoughtful and careful with where you want things to be. So now we will grab alley road and slope and ground tool from Yanaki and start building a road that goes uphill to the schools. This road is going to be a one-to-one copy pasta from real world, and you can see over here I had to craft some hill out for our road and a quick check of height and we are good to go for extending this road a bit back, and then do a nice turn and extend it further to the top. Now I will just move on and extend this road a bit further and carve out its exit on the other side of the hill. And now we can actually move on to the exciting 4-hour journey to Busan to complete this whole layout. Sit back and enjoy some compilations of the hyperlapses of the whole layout. So the upcoming area that I am planning is basically as close of a copy pasta as I can do with my excellent measurements that I took in my dreams while sculpting this area. So a few roads can be a bit too long to pop out of nowhere, but I had say 90% of it is a good or decent one-to-one, right? Then we approach to this stacked layout things over here. I think I love whatever this place is. It's your usual apartment building. It looks good, and I will try to do this exactly in City Skylines too. Then we moved to the area closer to the Yamagishi station. I thought this was your basic grid format, but taking a closer look with my glasses, I found this is in fact not your basic grid layout. It has some weird ends and cuts off early, and basically I kinda dig with this sort of fake grid layout. It really helps break the usual grid format and gives a new look to the layout. And then we move on to the other side. In this area we don't have that much difference in layout. It's basically the same, but half of the river side we have some nice pathway that meanders through between the lush green riverside. And with this we finally end the painful 4-hour period, and here is how our final layout is looking. And now it's time to zone, or dare I say, plop all the required buildings in this layout. It is going to be a short one, so let's get right into it. Starting with services, we are going to be placing all Japanese service buildings that we have got in the region pack, and because we are playing with unlimited money, I will upgrade them to the max. And I will have to say, a lot of Japanese service buildings and maybe a couple of commercial buildings, they do look quite empty, especially the college building. It could be due to the surface that they have used, or maybe the lack of Japanese inspired assets. But regardless, I think the overall look of service buildings is top notch. Maybe not so much for the low density houses, especially the 2x2 ones. So now after doing that, we can move on to plopping the residential and commercial, for which I will come to find it and filter out too deep zoning, because for the most part that is what we need. Over here you can see that I am placing these houses very close to each other, as some of them are unnecessarily wide and don't make sense to what you get in Japan. Like we talked about it, there is not much space compared to the amount of people that there are, and for that you have very small houses and they are quite close to each other. So we are doing the exact same thing over here with anarchy enabled, so that we can overlap them whenever necessary. And because we don't have such narrow streets, what I ended up planning was to place 2x2 housing in slightly bigger lots that will give me enough space to squeeze in a pathway at the back, such that from the top it gives an illusion that it is a very narrow back alleyway. And after total of 11 hours spent plopping each building, here is how it is looking. You can see the difference where we have residential and which areas are high activity areas due to bigger buildings and commercial buildings, etc. And over here, when we come up close, you can see how close and tight these buildings sit. Again, not the biggest fan of these urban looking buildings, but As you can see, we have left some spaces over here. These spaces will become some sort of allotments that you have. You can see them in 3 by 3 houses. They are not the same like you have in UK or Germany, but they are basically small farms that people own. And now you can see how this road goes uphill, and we have the Mount Fuji behind, and we didn't do steep hill like in real life because we want to place decals. But overall, I am liking how we have some bigger and bolder medium density and commercial buildings amidst our low density homes. We can't just call this a day. We still need to detail our Japanese inspired city or town. So let's come over here. I will grab electric cable line, and yep, we are placing this on every street. In real life, if you see this example, you don't have these on both sides of the street. So technically we will have to place these on one side of every road and make them connect to each other. So we will do just that over here. Extend them in small distances and then loop back around and connect it back again. You can see how this looks with one power line and with two power lines. So this is the first thing that we will detail on the list. Second is road decals. Most importantly, these trench grates, which you will see basically in every street in Japan. We have got two versions, one is large and one is small. I think a large will fit better on the main road and small one can go in alley roads. So these small ones will go over here right at the edge of the road. And the big guy can go on the main road like so. And last but not the least will be the road decal, which will be this guy, and we can place it like so at negative 0.3 meters of height and 2 meters of spacing between each decal. Then lastly, we will come over here and detail the small farms that I talked about. So I'll grab Haristes mud surface and place it here. Then I'll grab the hedge props and line them up underground such that a little portion of it is visible on top, and then to make it look good, you can add some small bush to make it look pretty from top. And with this, you will actually create what we have got with the 3 by 3 housing, but better. And basically we will do all these 4 to 5 things throughout the city. So sit back and enjoy a compilation of hyperlapses, and I will catch you in the tour. And as you can see, we have completed the whole build, and this took so much time, but I think this is absolutely worth it. So here you can see we have finished everything and completed and covered everything around our Yamagishi with some trees here and there, and leave some space wherever we had in the original Yamagishi Morioka Japan. And if we come to over here where we all started, you can see how this is looking. We have our main road with all the decals, and then we have our power lines over here which look absolutely amazing. Then we have our trench grates over here and people using our narrowest alleyways. You can see we have also made some of these farms, the small farms. So this one is made up of these flower beds over here, and then we have the small pots over there and some grass or some weed type of look over here just to fill up the space. And we did exact same over here, and we left out the space over here with the rocky surface. In real life there is no rocky surface, but I think this helps in distinguish where we have carved in, because we are not working with very high hills compared to the real life. And you can see how we have tried to integrate the low density houses with some medium densities and commercials and everything. So wherever we have high street, you can see we have a lot of medium densities and your commercial buildings and mixed use buildings, and where we don't, we have a lot of low density houses, especially the 2x2 ones. And you can see the more of it over here around Yamagishi station. So over here you can see near the big hospital you have more of medium density and mixed use buildings, and then as you go far from it you will see more of the low density houses. And then from here we move to the top like so, and you can see how our area is looking. It's a bit too prominent over here, but you can see now how good this is looking. And we are getting this sort of like staircase design over here. And then as we move forward we have our stacked layer design that I talked about. We have used UK assets over here because I think these look a bit closer to the real ones that you have over here. And then as you move forward you are greeted with the Yamagishi Elementary and High School, where we have a small lake in the middle. So I don't think I found any better reason to fill up the space. We had some parks, we tried to put them here and there. You can see the new ones that we have just gotten, and also the parking basically. But I think this lake was a little bit better idea compared to the others that I was thinking. And then we move to forward, and there is the sort of like end of our Yamagishi Japan, and you can see we have used our Xian Bell Tower. So this is from China, but I think to have something over here, I think this is a pretty good place where we could have added it, and I think I am happy with it because we don't have anything to replace this with. We didn't got any signature buildings or any temples. If we have gotten, then surely we have added that over here. But I think we will have to work with this. And you can see the garden that we have worked over here with different surfaces, and the custom small farms that I've talked about over here. So these all together gives out a really good look to the whole Yamagishi city that we have tried to recreate. And in real life Yamagishi city actually starts from the middle over here and then goes all the way to the end, and we have just made a little bit of it and also made extended it to the top over there. But I think I am really happy how this has turned out, and I hope you enjoyed this one and you learned something or you had a fun watching this video. And if you did, then please like the video. And if you want to see more of these realistic builds or detailing guides or these tutorials, then hit subscribe and turn on notification. Do follow me on Twitch. I stream almost every alternate day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Till then, enjoy the cinematics and happy building.